So I noticed that there are a lot of people who are trying to figure out how to do custom resolutions on Mac OSX. This is actually Mac OSX running in a resolution of 1280 by 720, as you can see here, which is not one of the standard resolutions. And after a lot of sort of experimenting, I did figure out how you can do it correctly. I should note this does require some pretty detailed knowledge of how OSX works, so if you're sort of a casual user, this is probably not the way to go. But here's how I figured out how to do it. So what we're going to do is we're going to modify some plist files, or one specific plist file actually, in the operating system. So the first thing we have to do is figure out what is the display identifier of the display that you're trying to use, or you're trying to modify the resolution of. I've got most of this off of just websites, so I should warn you I don't know exactly what all this does. But using a combination of these two websites, which I'll probably post in the description of this video, I found this command, which basically figures out which display you're currently using. So if we copy this this command, which I'll put in the description, and paste it in terminal, you can see that you get a string. At the end of it is a code. In my case, it's 610-9C5E, and that's actually a code that identifies what manufacturer and model of the display you're using is. And so what we're going to do is we're going to find the override file for that display. So we're going to go here. I've got the this is actually the place we're going to be looking in System, Library, Displays, Overrides, and then here you're going to get a list of display vendors. And if you look back at the string that I've got, the first 3 digits, 610, are the display vendor ID. So if I open that folder up, I get a bunch of different display files, and 9C5E is right here. So this is the file that's for the specific display that I'm using. This is actually a MacBook, a white plastic MacBook. So if I open this file up, you can see that it's got a bunch of data in it. And the last thing in here is scale resolutions, and this is basically a list of resolutions that this can scale to. So this first one might be, for example, let's say it's 640 by 480. Now the numbers in here are actually not quite what you'd expect the resolution to look like. This is 320 and 258. And the reason why they look different is because these are in hexadecimal. So I just found a hexadecimal converter online. It's pretty simple. And so if I take the number 320 and put it as hexadecimal, I get 800. If I put the number 258 in here as hexadecimal, I get 600. So this data ID corresponds to an 800 by 600 resolution. And so what I've done is I've added a custom one. I've got 500 and 2D0. 500 is 1280, and 2D0 is 720. And so that's how I'm running my display in 1280 by 720, which is of course the YouTube HD resolution. That's, I wanted to upload it to YouTube. So if we want to add a new resolution to this list, what we're going to do is we're going to make a copy of this plist file. Copy. I'm just going to paste it on my desktop. Here we go. Actually, I've got a copy here. Let's get rid of that one. Right. So, and now I can edit this file. Let's say I wanted to make a new resolution of, let's say, 1920 by 1080. I could then put 1920 in to see what I need to get, 780. Let's write that down. And if I wanted to put 1080, I would need to put 438. So now in this array, scale resolutions, I want to add another one. I want to add another data value with this plus sign, and instead of string, I want it to be data. And I'm just going to type in pretty much the same thing I've got here, except I'm going to replace them with these new numbers. So 0000 438 space 00000 780 0001. Right. I can hit save, Command S, or file save. And so now I've got on my desktop a new version of this file. And so if I want to put this new version back into my system folder so that it'll load next time I load the computer up. So unfortunately, you can't just normally sort of click and drag this thing into there. Actually, can you do that? Let's see if that works. Maybe it does work. No, that didn't go where I wanted to. All right. Sorry. Let's try that again. Right. So this requires me to authenticate, replace, and type in my password because I'm editing a system folder, a file in the system folder, which is generally not a good idea. So then, if I restart the computer now, then it should come up with a new option in my display resolutions that's 1920 by 1080. And so that's just kind of how you do that. I should warn you, I've just really figured this out by experimentation. You really shouldn't be poking around your system files all that much if you don't know what you're doing, but this should work. It did work for me. So thanks for watching, and this is pretty cool.